Ah, Liz and young Chomsky. So nice of you to meet me on my secluded mansion filled with many silent women traipsed across furniture with their heads lolling lazily into their open palms, who I've had sex with. And it's so nice, all the stockings up and the trees and the chimneys and things like that. You love Christmas, right, Liz?
Oh my god, you know I'm a Christmas freak.
I mean, I don't know. Viewers can't see her now in my mansion, but she is wearing a Santa hat. In fact, she actually, when Liz and I talked about an episode the other day, Liz went out of the room. She held up one finger and she's like, wait, check this out. And went out of the room and came back wearing a Santa hat. Grinning.
Oh my god. I know. I've been listening to Christmas music for the past like 12 days.
Yeah.
The lights, the tree, everything has been up since right after Thanksgiving.
Uh-huh.
Many batches of cookies ready to go.
Uh-huh.
I got all my plans for all the meals I'm making. Presents are wrapped. Stockings are hung. It's a winter wonderland out.
By the way, we're recording this on September 15th.
Yeah.
And Liz is saying this.
I like to plan ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. I'm personally, well, I have a little confession to make.
I'm Jewish.
And my whole life, I was raised to believe that Santa wasn't real. Young Chomsky, you're also Jewish, right?
Yeah.
And what did Santa factor into your young life?
We had the Hanukkah man in my home.
Wait, what?
What? Wait, hold on. Did you? You guys had a Hanukkah man?
That's what my parents told me. Stop laughing. My parents
I'm
told me
not
that
laughing.
the gifts were
I'm laughing.
that the gifts were from the Hanukkah man.
What was the Hanukkah man's like? When you picture him in your mind,
Completely featureless void, just like the Jewish God.
Yeah. Okay, all right.
Wow.
For me, Hanukkah growing up, my family actually does pagan Hanukkah, which is where I can't really get too into the details, but let me just say, we do not keep kosher on that night. A lot of dairy and meat mixing.
Jesus Christ.
But growing up, I always thought Santa wasn't real. And obviously, young Chomsky had Hanukkah man. Liz, I know that you still might think he's real, but after a lot of requests from viewers, I kind of decided that we should really look into that. And I think our research over the past past like 5 or 6 months has only pointed in one direction. Santa Claus is real, and we've proved it.
Wait, proven it.
Santa Claus is real, and we've proven it.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. Come in. Jeffrey Epstein.
Well, my little ho, Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because
bell.
Merry Christmas.
Uh-huh. It's back, baby. Happy Holidays is fake because Jewish people are never happy. And so I don't know why you guys keep trying to appease us.
You know what? I got to say, just for everyone, we got to be clear here. We are very, we've taken a side in the war on Christmas.
Pro-Christmas.
Absolutely.
Pro-Christmas.
100%. Who's not?
I don't want you saying Happy Hanukkah to me. I've never had a Happy Hanukkah in 31 years.
Hanukkah's fine. I don't mind. What I don't like is
me.
secularists.
Oh, awful. But no, it's terrible.
Pagans.
Terrible. Pagans. That's very different than a secularist, but understandable. I think pagans love this time of year.
Too much.
Do you remember that solstice party we went to last year with the goat?
This is a lie. It
was incredible.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to TrueAnon. My name is Liz.
My name is Father Christmas, and we are, of course, joined by Mortical Sheckelgrubber, a.k.a. Young Chomsky, our producer. And we have a little holiday episode for you guys.
I mean, we got it. We got to do it.
We love it. This is not just Christmas. We got all of them.
Yeah, we'll talk about all of them. But I do want to say that Brace is right. I am like a Christmas freak. I don't know how
Oh
else to
yeah,
say it. I love Christmas.
yeah.
It's like
Liz
famous among my friends.
she is a Christmas head.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, yeah.
My brain
The
full
woman
of candy
adores it.
canes.
You gotta respect the woman who loves Christmas, because stockings. From what I understand, all right. So listeners know that I'm sexist, and most of the ideas that I have from women, because I'm
not
too afraid to
true.
talk to them, come from old movies. Because in my mind, people used to be more sexist. So if I watch movies from the top, like Mad Men time period of the 1950s, then I'll learn tips from them. And the only thing I really learned is that women like three things: rouge, pumps, and stockings. All three of those are combined in Father Christmas.
That's true. He
Mhm.
does kind of wear pumps.
Absolutely
when
wears
you
pump-
see
heeled
those.
boots.
Yeah. They're kind of like little pilgrim shoes.
But I thought, so okay, we're nailing up the stockings. We've got the tree decked out. We are slitting the throat of a goat that we caught to appease. It's a Saturnalia thing. And Liz and I have been doing some deep research into some Christmas lore.
Yeah. To be clear, we're not proving Santa Claus is real.
No, there was a big argument about that where ironically the two Jews here came out on the different side than Liz. Liz says that Santa isn't real, but I say that anyone can be Santa Claus.
This is such a lie. This didn't happen.
Okay, well then how come you got mad at me for the chimney thing with that
my
family?
God. Stop it. You said
just-
Grinch is real.
Grinch is real. I don't want to. Yeah, yes.
We'll get
yeah.
into that. I think we're
Well,
gonna
yeah.
have to get into that.
But we've been taking a look at some what have I like to call Christmas hobbits.
Yeah. So, we thought, okay, we could do for a Christmas episode, we could do perhaps a little play where we act out some things. We could that was our only other idea. But no.
That
we
was too much
thought-
work.
Yeah, we were like, no way. Also, it's a bit corny. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're putting on our investigative hats.
Liz, that's just a regular Christmas hat, but yes, point taken.
No, we're putting on investigator glasses. We're putting on Christmas tinfoil hats
Uh-huh.
because we're taking, this is the TrueAnon look at some of your favorite Christmas creatures.
Well, as a Jew, I do gotta ask, what's up with the elves? Is that a Christian thing? I know you guys have like the fucked up. You guys have like the other angels kind of thing, but are elves like angels? What's up with elves?
No, there's just like not related at all. Elves are like Santa's helpers.
I know, but what I don't
Which
get
is
is
like a bit problematic, by the way. I mean,
well,
it does seem
so
like a
those
little-
elves seem short.
Yeah. That's the whole thing.
Well, give me a description.
Okay. Well, so look, I want to say that, Brace and I have done some research because we basically picked a bunch of different things and we're like, okay, we're going to look into this. This
Yeah.
is the TrueAnon look. And so, as you may have realized, the first one is elves. And
Yeah.
I got to say, I didn't know a lot about elves. And I feel like now I know too much.
I have often described you in the bodybuilding forums that I use several pseudonyms on as Elvin when I
my
fake
God.
review our shows and try to get bodybuilders to listen to it. I've gotten a lot of pushback on that, but that most of that comes from like a fault line where some people think elves are short and slaves, and other people think that elves are really tall and like kind of like magical.
Wait, people think elves are tall?
Well,
I thought the whole thing was that they're short.
Well, so you'd think so, but in other sort of cultures, I guess, elves are really tall.
Okay, so here's the thing is that I feel like elves, like traditionally elves, short guys, old timey, right?
Yes. I mean, well, so no, for me,
Pointy
elves are
shoes.
really tall and good at magic, and they can do spells.
But what I think is that YouTube culture and gamers have totally appropriated elves and made them something that they're not.
Well, I think actually it was J.R.R. Tolkien who was Catholic. And so that's why I think that elves are tall, because that means he's closer to Christ. But yeah, no. So they're little guys that work in his wood. Have you ever been to the Musée Mécanique?
Oh yeah.
They have a little elves display there, and they appear to be factory slaves.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the best arrangement, we'll say.
But some people actually believe in elves, right?
Yeah, this is the thing. So apparently, I didn't know this, but like 62% of people in Iceland believe in elves.
So, all right, I did a little scientific survey of that, and I asked our TrueAnon listeners that live in Iceland. You know, there's 4 of them.
Wait, how do you know them?
Because I said on the TrueAnon Twitter, does any of our listeners live in Iceland?
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and then 4 guys said yeah. And I
Nice.
checked them out. They look like, I mean, they got a bunch of words that I didn't understand on their profiles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like, do you know what 1488 is? Is that like a... I didn't get what that meant. They spelled it out. No. I talked to 4 very nice Icelandic men who, I gotta say, you was a younger crowd. And I was like, I opened with all of them. Do you believe in elves? And one of them was really confused, but the other 3 were not confused. And while they themselves didn't believe in elves, they did say that people do believe in elves there. Some people believe in elves.
See, so some people do.
Well, I guess the thing is what Icelanders will do is they'll go out to their little ferry. Don't get me started on Iceland. Actually, you will. You're about to get me started on Iceland, by the way, because I've been there. They'll go out to their little stone circles and they'll find like a particularly like moss covered stone. They'll be like, "Oh, elves live there."
That's
Like,
just something they say?
yeah, like that's like an elf's house. Like it appears that they just like someone's trying to build a highway. Like some old person will just go to the side of the highway and see like a mossy rock and be like, that's where elves go to church.
I see.
Which if elves are worshiping the same god that everyone else does, I see some confusion in that. But apparently if you cross the elves, if you do build a highway or if you do, I don't know what else Icelanders do, build a very expensive restaurant that Brace goes to and needs to get food because he's on a fucking 18-hour layover, which is perfectly timed to make him just spend money in Reykjavik while he's on his cheap flight to Germany. And he has to spend $40 on a sandwich because he doesn't understand how the money works. And then
I've heard
he
that.
is too embarrassed to go back on it. By the way, my pinky keeps falling asleep. Anyways, if you do something like that, if you build there, the elves will hurt you.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. So I was looking into this, and so I was like very confused because I was like, okay, as we started off, elves are just like tiny people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not totally. So they say they're 36 inches high at most.
Okay.
Always wear old-fashioned clothing. So they're always old-fashioned-y.
What, like
which
bootcut jeans?
Yeah, like 70s style.
Yeah.
Or they're like steampunk elves.
Yeah. They've got like big goggles on top hats and like
And like
Yeah.
like what's the bicycle with the penny farthers?
a penny farthing, yes.
They all write for current affairs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct. They do.
Ugh.
There's
Too
no way that
easy.
guy's taller than 36 inches anyways. So, but yeah, so they're
Okay,
saying
anyway.
they're 3 feet tall.
Yeah. Big ears. Everyone knows classic. Old-fashioned clothing. But these elves differ, from what I've read, from the typically depicted assistants to Santa Claus, or assistants, slaves, however you want to say this.
Guest workers.
Apparently, in Iceland, or Iceland Imaginary, the elves live and look very much like humans, which this kind of like freaked me out a little bit. This is according to an elf expert, okay, which don't get me started on that.
Elf spurt, yeah.
You've got to get right up close before you can be sure it's an elf and not a human, which that makes no sense because if they're 36 inches high, I mean,
Well, maybe like if you're far away, they just look like they're further away than they are.
oh, like a Monet.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what that means, but yeah, probably like that. What does that mean? Oh, Monet the person? I don't know how tall he was.
They say also that their behavior totally similar to people.
Racist.
So there's like the elf economy, livestock. They cut hay. They row boats. They pick berries.
What livestock do they have? Like squirrels?
That's what I don't understand.
They're
Or is
3
it like
feet tall.
are there elf sheep?
So wait, is there just a whole? This guy is out of his mind. So he thinks that there's just every other animal, but it's smaller. That just for elves.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, they're. So they say, like humans, they have priests and sheriffs and go to church on Sundays. Which that's what confused me. Because I'm like, they're reading the Bible and they're just like, I guess everyone else in the world is really tall except for us. Like what? I mean, if they're going to church on Sundays, that implies that they're Christians.
Yes.
That and what I think of elves as an affront to God.
Well, apparently, to be clear, the first mention of elves in Iceland were like Viking era poems. So this is pre-Christian. Or I mean, given the geography, they don't really these like texts don't really tell us what the elves were doing, and they kind of like just focus on the activities of the Viking gods. So like I guess more of the more elaborate kind of elvish. Is it elvish or elfish?
Well, elvish is the language they speak.
Oh my god! Wait, do you know this stuff?
Well, I mean,
Is
it's
that a
just
Lord of the
I read-
Rings thing?
I just read Lord of the Rings when I was younger. Yeah,
Once?
I
or
don't know.
twice?
Like, I didn't read like the other one. I can't even pronounce it. The
Hobbit?
Silmarillion? No, there's like a nerdier one he wrote that like
Oh.
if someone's read that, they're like,
They're deep.
this is not a big pussy getter.
Yeah, so I guess like more crazy elf stories emerged like in the 16th, 17th century, which are the ones that I think kind of remain in popular imaginary. But something I thought was like very funny was that a bunch of anthropologists think that that like the Viking settlers used the idea of elves to kind of like create an other because they weren't actually colonizers and they wanted to be.
To invent it.
So like they basically said they didn't have any natives or indigenous people to conquer.
Oh my god, we gotta decolonize elves.
Yeah. So they made up elves and were like, actually,
so
there's
funny.
tiny invisible people, and guess what?
We're
We
racist
conquered them.
against them.
Yeah, we don't like them.
Yeah, we got to give these, like, everyone's like pretending to have a disease that, like, oh no, elves can catch this one.
Yeah. He says, like everyone else in Western Europe, in the Middle Ages, in the early modern period, they really wanted to be invaders.
Yeah.
That's such a
well,
low
I
blow.
mean, they're known for that. If only they had known, rather, that we only think of Vikings as a brutal, savage race of
Yeah.
invaders. Barbarians, in fact. But I mean,
But thank God, because then we wouldn't have the story of elves.
true. Well, you also sent me a link to something called the Elf School, and at first I thought this was the place you went to high school because you're always playing tricks and doing spells. But no, this is something that actually exists.
Wait, side note, I don't think elves are magical.
Hold on.
Like,
Yes,
they don't do
are.
spells.
They're literally related to fairies. You wrote the word fairy here, even if you didn't say it.
Wait, but do you think they do, like, spells?
It doesn't matter if they do spells. They're a magical creature like a goblin.
Okay, I do think they're a magical creature, but you
Yeah.
insinuated that they do spells.
Well, yeah, I think they do spells because that's how they keep out of sight. That's almost every magical creature that other people can't see is
I
out
think
of
they
sight
just hide
because
very well because they're tiny.
that's basically magic. Lying is
this.
magic, Liz. And concealing your existence is a form of lying.
Okay, so the elf school, which by the way you can check out at theelfschool.com, is what it says, which is a school that you can attend to learn about elves by the anthropologist. Now, I'm going to need some help here, Bruce. Magnus, and of course his name is Magnus Skarfednson.
Magnus Skarfedin. I would like to see this man's anthropology degrees and his credentials.
I did see a photo of him. Very jolly.
I can imagine. Is it is it possible that he himself is a Santa type figure? And
That's
has
what I'm
elf
trying to say.
slaves? Okay.
It was, I'm going to say it's a little too close to home.
So I will say the Icelanders I talked to said these were just stories cooked up to fool tourists. But that's what people said that Jews were before Israel was invented too.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. And look how that turned out.
I don't know if we should keep that in. No, so this guy Magnus, he spent decades collecting witness accounts, and he says that elves are 1,000%, 100%, 2,000%, 200% real.
Did he make photos of the elves?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay,
Actually.
well, it's okay. It's an eyewitness
I don't think
account
so.
is basically they call that a verbal photograph.
Yeah, that's a mind photo.
Yeah, exactly.
Photo of the mind.
Yeah, he's got a couple of cautionary tales of elvish warnings. One in this. By the way, this seems like you could have gotten a couple others in the intervening years, but one's from February 1921, which, by the way. Probably okay. I will. Don't get me into the 20s, but fishermen were able to see elves that were also out at sea fishing. Which I'm like, they're 3 feet tall, man. Like
Yeah, how do
they're
you see
smaller
that?
than a salmon.
Also, good vision.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's like a little rat. Maybe he thought the boat was far away. Yeah, so he notices one day that they're not going out there. He's like, the elves aren't out at sea. They must be, I don't know, afraid of something. He asks his boss, hey, boss man, don't make us go out there and catch these beautiful salmon, which we sell to really high prices to tourists who the only reason they're flying on a budget airline is because they can't afford a regular plane ticket, and now they have to buy a $40 fucking fish sandwich. The boss says, no way. I hate Brace Belden. I'm sending you out there to, I know Brace isn't alive right now, but, eventually if we do this enough, we'll get him. But that day there was an insanely violent storm, and everyone who stayed on shore lived, and everyone who went out died.
I don't know about that story, I gotta say.
I mean, I believe people died at sea, but I'm not sure that elves were out there
You know
too.
what I bet happened? I bet
What?
like 3 guys were like hungover, and they're like,
Yeah.
I don't want to go fishing today.
There's no elves out there today, boss.
I'm not gonna go fishing.
Yeah.
And then they were like, they stayed home, and all their friends died, and their boss was like, what the fuck? How did you know?
We just lost a fifth of Iceland's population. Holy shit.
Yeah, and they're like, it wasn't from drinking. It was the elves that told me.
Yeah. Oh no.
It was probably
Britain invaded Iceland during
Wait,
World War
really?
II? Yeah,
When?
during World War II.
Why?
It's true. Yeah.
Did they need it?
No, it's because
Just because they could?
no. So Iceland, Denmark got invaded by the Nazis, and the British were like, "You will never get the most beautiful tropical island in the world," and then invaded Iceland with basically, I think, 0 casualties. I think they just kind of showed up in Iceland and like put a couple of guys there. Then left afterwards, which I'm a little surprised about. But yeah, and so I mean, here's the thing though: if you're an elf, I feel like a mild wind would blow your tiny boat over. Like you couldn't. What are you out there in like a big squall? Absolutely not.
Also, what fish are you getting?
Yeah.
You're too small.
Yeah, it's like you're an animal basically.
Yeah, you can't get anything. Okay, so the other one he has is a woman in her 80s. So, first of all, this little red flag. Woman in her 80s who in 2002 ran into a teen who said he knew her. She asks him where they had met, and he gives an address that she lived at 53 years ago.
Wah, wah, wah.
The same house where her daughter claimed to have played with an invisible boy. The daughter, when the mom described the teen to the daughter, says, "Mom, it's Maggie." Maggie spelled with 2 G's and an I. In that, like,
very
Icelandic way.
Yeah.
So Magnus says, elves age 5 times slower than a human being. So the idea being this teen that knew her was the elfish boy that her kid played with in the house.
Incredible. I mean, this woman is clearly
don't think that
suffering from
makes sense.
dementia
Yeah.
and is being taken advantage of by the elf school guy.
This is what I don't understand. So, I just assumed that they stay tiny and then
Yeah.
they age.
Well, I guess, that doesn't make sense
Like,
to me
they
either.
stay-
But maybe
they
he's like a
get-
short. You never met a 3 foot tall teen?
No,
Oh, I feel like I used to know a lot in high school.
I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, he also says that in 1971, elves made an agreement after negotiations with the Icelandic government over a construction site, which actually I did read about, and there was actually they did kind of. I mean, they did. I don't know if they
Wait, what?
physically had negotiations.
Wait,
with
I'm sorry.
elves.
You're saying that you read about elves having an agreement with the Icelandic government in 1971?
No. I'm saying, first of all, I did read about this. And what I'm saying is that's a bit of a gloss over what happened, which was that the Icelandic government decided not to build, or basically it was like a forced removal of a boulder. And after all these kind of upsetting things started happening and a bunch of people were protesting, they said, okay, fine, we're not going to, remove this boulder. And a bunch of people were like, yay, that's a win for the elves.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? I'll tell you what. It's a very cold place, and I understand that you get cold. You get. They call it frost madness, but these people were they really thought the elves were really real.
I don't know. I guess there's elves in other countries, not just Iceland. Mm-hmm. But I felt like this was kind of a burn, but this was pretty funny. Magnus says that Icelanders are just more receptive to seeing them and believing in them. Because, and this she says, the real reason is that the Enlightenment came very late to Iceland.
I mean, at least it got there,
In
Who
other
brought
countries
the
with
Enlightenment
Western
to Iceland?
scientific arrogance, the denial of
yes.
everything, they have not discovered themselves. They say that witnesses are subject to hallucinations.
That's what I'm saying. It's magic.
It's
Obviously
mystery.
magic.
Yeah, remystifying.
Well, I want to talk about something now that's very close. to
Wait,
me.
hold on. Before we get to that, I just want to mention one thing that I could not, and if we do have Icelandic listeners, please reach out because I read this one line and I have no idea what this means and I need some clarity. Not to be confused with Iceland's, quote, hidden people.
Oh, shadow people.
Yeah, so who are the hidden people? Please
Oh.
let me know.
Those are shadow people.
Where did all the shadow people go?
What are shadow people?
So if you do enough of something, and are up for a long time, you see a hidden race of people that are in the shadows, and sometimes just out of the edge of your sight, or sometimes they're in the corner of your room in the dark, and they're messing with you, and they play pranks. It's shadow people. They're real.
It's like mole people?
I mean, I literally encountered shadow people several times.
I told you I saw a mole person once.
Yes, you did. Yeah. I'm telling you, I have actually no shit seen shadow people. It's if you do enough of a certain magical drug called methamphetamine.
Oh my god.
You summon them. It's like if you drink a potion or something.
Well, when I saw a mole person, I was totally sober.
You told the mole person story before. I believe you. I want to be clear. I believe you.
Thank you. It's true. I did see it.
Well, tell them about it.
No. We've moved on.
Okay. So there's another thing I want to talk about, which is the abominable snowman. You found a little tweet by the Indian Army, right?
Yeah, I think this went a little viral, but I don't remember it. I guess so. In 2019, the Indian Army, literally the Army of India, the country India,
Very proud army.
yeah, they spotted 32-inch footprints in Nepal, and they tweeted. I mean, they literally tweeted this. This is the tweet. For the first time in #Indian Army, It's a very popular hashtag. Mountaineering expedition team has sighted, sited, sighted, mysterious footprints of mythical beast Yeti measuring 32 by 15 inches close to Makulu Base Camp on the 9th of April 2019. This elusive snowman has only been sighted at Malaku Barun National Park in the past. By the way, I like saying snowman as opposed to
It's the
snowman.
I will say there are follow-up tweets from thousands of people calling the Yeti anti-national tool of Pakistan intelligence. I will piss on you, dog. Also, yeah, some other kind of unmentionable things. So the Indian Army, of course, very proud recent history, many great battles. I will say, I'm lying about that, but if you guys fucking put one hand on the Yeti, I will come there. And I will be a tool of Pakistani intelligence.
So you're telling me
my
Yeti is
God.
real?
Yeti's absolutely real, and I can prove it. So the Yeti they're saying is a part human, part creature thing, right? People also think that mistakenly, that the Yeti is a Bigfoot. Bigfoots are different and also probably real. Like, I do think Bigfoots are real.
So wait, Bigfoot is Sasquatch.
Bigfoot is Sasquatch, yeah.
And Sasquatch is North American.
Yes, Sasquatch actually is proudly Californian.
That's very cute. Yeah.
When they say
it's-
keep
yeah.
Santa Cruz weird, they mean don't kill the Sasquatch.
Yeah, he's very like frontierish, like mountain man kind of.
Yeah. I will say, one time I was in Ojai, California when I was 16 years old, hanging out with my buddy Worm and a couple of other guys. And this guy, I think Greg was his name, he's selling acid, and we're in the field behind Ojai high school, and we're cutting up this acid, and like he just got it from this guy. He doesn't know how big a tab is, and so we end up taking a little too much. About 30 minutes into taking, this is the first time I ever took it. 30 minutes into taking, we got a 12-pack of beer. We're all teenagers. A cop comes in. We're in the middle of the woods. This cop comes out, and it's like, "What are you guys doing?" And we literally we just thrown the beer down. We're like, "Nothing, just sitting here." He's like, "Okay, just clean up afterwards." And we're like, "What the fuck?" Nothing like that had ever happened to any of us. So we're like, "All right, we got the blessing." And so our night ended up being, we took a lot of acid. Our night ended up being in search of a guy called the Yeti. And whenever I take acid, I walk like the guy in the Keep On Truckin' like drawing, like the R. Crumb drawing. And like, you know that picture of John Lennon like walking all fucked up? You know what I'm talking about?
That's like my favorite.
Yeah,
How everyone
I walk
used to walk.
like that. Yeah, that's how I walk when I'm not kidding. My brain like makes me think I'm the Keep On Trucking guy. So it's this really fucked up night. We end up like stumbling through like a vineyard, and we're hearing like the sounds of a party, and we go like through the leaves, and we find this giant mansion, and there's like 50-foot tall ceilings, and this huge mansion, and there's 3 like young women in fur coats, mind you. It is high summer, fur coats and like really pale skin, doing cocaine off of like a marble table. And I'm just
No, they're
like,
probably
damn,
from LA.
that's fucked up. Well, turns out one of the guys I'm with knows one of these chicks. And so we come in, and there's a whole party there. And my buddy, my buddy Maher's there. He's playing like it's a uniform choice. It's like a Southern California straight edge band, songs on guitar. And I'm like all fucked up, and I don't think it's real. And I'm like, I need to find Yeti. And we leave the party, and we're like walking for hours and hours, and I'm covered in sweat. At one point I thought I shit myself, but it was just my back was sweaty. And we get to this convenience store, and we were like, fuck, we'll never find Yeti. And Yeti's at the convenience store smoking cigs outside. And I, in my brain, in the time since I heard about Yeti to the time I met Yeti, had convinced myself that he was an actual Yeti. And then when I saw he was merely a man, it just like totally transformed the nature of my trip, and I went down a really dark place. Yeah. Anyways, so the Yeti is real. That guy wasn't Yeti, but Yeti is real. So I want to tell you guys about a little book/movie called The Long Walk, aka The Way Back. And Liz, I believe this was written by a relative of yours. judging by the amount of W's in his name. Slawomir Rawix.
Beautiful.
Am I saying that right?
No.
Slawomir?
Just keep going.
Anyways, this guy, he's the son of a landowning family. He joined the Polish army as an
If you guys think also, by the way, that that's a rude thing to say, that is actually an important designation about people from
Yes.
Poland at that time.
In the 30s, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, he is a bit of a little, I think maybe a little money there. He joins the Polish army as an officer. Also, always a red flag when someone joins an army as an officer.
Yeah, that's not what you're supposed to do.
Well, anyways, Germany invades. The Russia comes in on the other side. This guy says, by the way, this is his story. I'm telling his story right now. He goes back to his house and he's arrested by the brutal NKVD on charges of espionage. He's given a show trial and sent to the gulag. Well, not a show trial, but a kangaroo
When did
court.
this book come out?
Book came out in the 1950s. The
Yeah,
mid-50s.
okay. I know what this book is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a whole rash of these books that came out in the 1950s. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, let me tell you, this guy, he escapes from the gulag. He's all the way out in Siberia. He's above the Arctic Circle, baby, and he escapes.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. He goes on a 4,000-mile, 11th-month trek with 8 other people, including an American named Mr. Smith, and a 17-year-old Polish girl. So his other
Wait,
thing is
these
that they
people
just
were in the gulag with him?
well, so the American was, and there's some other. It's like a Latvian, business owner. It's like a fucking real, rainbow coalition of Eastern Europeans. It's like a Latvian. There's a Yugoslavian, even though he's not Eastern European, but it's like there's people from everywhere. And there's a couple other Polish people, and they run into a 17-year-old Polish girl who the Red Army had been raping in the middle of Siberia. She's like not at their camp. They just like run into her on the road and she escaped from the Red Army.
By the way, if you guys don't know what I was getting at before, in the 1950s, late 40s, 1950s, there was a whole genre of anti-Soviet propaganda books that were pushed.
Yeah.
Particularly in America and in Western Europe. But they always were like stories of, people escaping and telling their tales of the Soviets. There's a lot of famous ones, people defecting from the Communist Party, etc.
It's a very famous one by a man who doesn't like Jewish people very much called the Gulag Archipelago.
Yeah.
That was actually when I got sent away to that like fucked up not boys home, like kids home when I was a kid. They had that book there. They actually had a bunch of Gulag books there. Well, anyways,
Jesus,
they go.
That's crazy.
This girl dies en route. So do I think 4 of his other companions. They march through, baby, the Gobi Desert and the Himalayas.
Did they get lost?
I'm just like, why didn't you guys just keep going into China?
Why'd they go that way?
Well, I don't know, but it did lead to this. There is a passage in the book where he describes vividly, although somewhat offhandedly considering the rest of the text, seeing a pair of Yetis in the Himalayas.
Two Yetis.
Possibly husband, wife. Possibly a pair of podcasters. This is a tragic tale where many people die, and he still makes it to, I think, Calcutta, where he's nursed back to health by the noble British. And he goes via Iran back to the USSR, where he joins General Anders' army and then gets transferred to Britain, where he writes this book in the mid-50s. Now, Liz, you might be thinking, did this guy really see a Yeti?
2 Yetis.
2 Yetis. Well, the answer is the book was actually written by a Daily Mail writer in 1956. And I think that mid-2000s, the BBC tried to track down any sort of verification that it had happened, and then very quickly tracked down the fact that this guy actually had killed an NKVD officer in the early stages of the Soviets coming into Poland, and then was sent to prison and released 8 months later as part of a general amnesty, where he just joined the regular Polish army and was sent to Britain. So he did not go to the Gulag, nor did he escape from the Gulag. However, it was written in 1956. 2 years prior to that, the Daily Mail had sent a £1 million, in modern money, £1 million expedition to the Himalayas to catch a Yeti.
What?
Yes. There's this.
Why?
Well, apparently, and I didn't know this. The British had like Yeti fever in the 50s. They were like really, like
Wait
really.
a second.
Yeah.
Say that again.
The British had Yeti fever in the 1950s. They were crazy about Yetis. They wanted to catch a Yeti.
The only
Yes.
thing the British had in the 1950s.
Check this out. Check this out. This is a quote from an article about it. They were gone for 15 weeks, and they were accompanied by ornithologists, zoologists, and 307. I can't do the accent anymore. 370 porters. This is an almost 400-person expedition who carried tranquilizer guns in a cage. If a live abominable snowman was caught, says author Graham Hoyland, it was to be shipped back to London to be examined. Unfortunately, the team, which included the paper's poker-playing foreign correspondent who appeared at base camp wearing a silk cravat, a golfing jacket, and a pair of plimsolls, I don't know what almost any of those things are, returned home. Young Chomsky perks his head up, returned home empty-handed. But yeah, I guess Brits have had Yeti fever since the 1830s.
Hold on a second. So 15 weeks,
Yes.
zoologists,
Uh-huh.
370 port. This is in the 1950s? Because
This is
this
in
sounds
1950.
like some kind of like
Yeah.
weird British Empire colonial thing.
Yes.
But this is for Yetis.
Well, they sailed Yemen back then. Yeah. It's I mean, they had their first like dude. This had all started because this guy Eric Shipton, who was a mountaineer, he'd actually taken a photograph in 1954 of a Yeti's footprint that looked a lot like the Indian Army's one in the snow. And he was an actual mountaineer. He was near Everest. And this had caused a sensation in the UK. This had launched the Daily Mail's expedition. Turns out, though, that this was just a fucking snowshoe that he put. I mean, imagine a photograph comes back of just like a large track in the snow, and you're like, I need to spend $1 million on this.
Well, I just keep thinking, like, imagining some poor guy who was like leading the expedition, like thinking that he's having his kind of like,
This Yeti moment.
we're just like, going to India moment.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I mean? Where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we're bringing back ivory. He's like so excited. And then they tell him like, so we need you to get the Yeti.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sorry, what?
Well, so actually, I thought that too, but it turns out, so this guy Eric Shipton, who does the Yeti hoax, he is kicked off an expedition by a guy named Edmund Hillary, who's like a famous mountaineer, like climbed Everest. Edmund Hillary kicked this guy off the expedition. Obviously this footprint's a fake, but Edmund Hillary 6 years later uses the photograph as a pretext to launch another expedition for the Yeti in 1960.
Love it.
Amazing. Came to the conclusion there was likely a Himalayan bear. I will say I came to the conclusion that there actually were Yetis, or still are Yetis, living in Asia, because in the, I think, 70s, a reporter visited the Royal College of Surgeons in London and found a withered finger, which had been found like not too long before in the college's Hunterian Museum. And that finger was labeled Yeti finger from Pangbosh hand. A Yeti's finger. And it turns out that actually could have been a finger of a Gigantopithecus, which is, baby, an ape that was 9 feet tall and weighed 1,200 pounds.
Wait, what?
Yeah. It's a Gigantopithecus or whatever. It just means giant ape. Oh,
Wait,
no, excuse me.
do you think Yeti is ape or bear or man?
Well, Yeti means man bear in I guess what the Nepalese. But yeah, no, it's they found out about this thing originally because a German paleoanthropologist just walked into a pharmacy in Hong Kong and found a giant fucking tooth for sale. He bought it, and then in the years after that, other anthropologists found giant teeth for sale in Asia, and they put them together and they realized that there was a 10-foot tall ape.
So you think that's the Yeti?
Absolutely, that's the Yeti, and they're absolutely still alive.
Where do you think they are? somewhere in the
in the
Himalayas.
Yeah, they're just hard to find because they have white fur.
But if they're so big, do you think like they kind of look like mountains?
Yeah, I mean that's how people think they're like craggy rocks or something.
I think it's real.
Oh, that's absolutely real.
You know, they said, or you started this thing talking about the abominable snowman.
Abominable. That's cute.
What?
It's abominable.
What did I say?
Abominable.
I was just probably. Wait, what if I can't say it right? Abominable.
Try it a couple more times.
Abominable.
Say it again.
Abominable.
Young Chomsky, keep those in.
No. Okay, at the beginning of the segment, I don't want to call it a segment. What are we, a TV show? This is
What are we, a
terrible.
centipede?
You mentioned abominable snowman. Now, that is the same. Do you think that's the same thing as Yeti?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
People often mistake apes for men. I've worked alongside guys for years and then found out that they were some variety of ape, like an orangutan.
Because you said that Yeti means man bear, but now you're saying it's an ape.
People don't know the difference between bears and apes. They're both big.
What?
Yeah, people only see size. Like most people's eyes actually can't register shape, just size.
So wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
One last question, Brace, because you're you seem like the Yetiologist here. We mentioned Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Now, Sasquatch is North America only.
Yes.
However, do you think related to Yeti?
Absolutely. Yeah. The ice bridge.
Yeah. I was going to say it's got to be a
Yeah.
Bering Strait thing.
Absolutely.
Sarah Palin's house.
She can see the Yeti from there. It's
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
a really bad joke. I didn't mean to say
No,
that.
that's terrible. I shouldn't even mention her. No one should mention her.
I still think she's foxy.
Dude, did you see the video of her where she's like fucking methed out?
No. Oh, I think she is actually on meth now.
No. There was like that video of her and she's like going nutso. She's
Well,
got like a handheld camera in the middle of nowhere.
Yes, I
Like,
did see that.
She's got that skinny meth face. You
She
know what I
doesn't
mean?
look good. Yeah.
Not
She
great.
used to be sort of like a plump MILF, and now she is
Yeah.
a sallow wretch.
People were obsessed with her.
Yeah. I mean,
Even like liberals thought. You remember how people
Rick
were so
Wilson.
excited about Tina Fey?
yeah. Oh, Christ. What happened to Tina Fey? I hope she's dead.
No, I think remember the cake thing? She made a cake joke and everyone got mad at her or something.
No, I don't know what you're
That
talking
was a
about.
long time ago.
Yeah. What was the sheet cake? God, that was so
Oh my
stupid.
God, the Trump years were so fucking dumb.
God, I know. Thank God Joe Biden is president now, so I can just go back to thinking about Sarah Palin. So I want to read Liz's preliminary notes on this real quick. Liz, first of all, had not heard of Krampus before. Liz is blissfully unaware that it become like a Reddit meme, and I think they made a couple horror movies and stuff.
I don't know anything about this,
genuinely
that Reddit.
scared Liz. Her notes say, "What the fuck is this? Absolutely not. Christmas is for joy, not mayhem." Described, I'm just going to read your notes real quick. Not all of them, but she says, described as half goat, half demon, Krampus is a Christmas creature who punishes children who have misbehaved. This is the devil, right? Pagan shit is so fucking insane. I do not fuck with pagans, in all caps.
I really
Liz is-
don't. I don't, dude.
Liz is scared of the devil.
As one should be. It's the devil. Literally, what could you be scared of more?
Are you
than
fucking
the devil?
kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you scared of the devil? Are you scared of the Liz, all right. Bluesmen, first of all, are not scared of the devil. Other guys who are good at guitar aren't scared of the devil. And people who get really good at basketball aren't scared of the devil. I think there was a movie about that too. Now that I'm saying that, I might be making that up. I've been to the spot where Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil. There is a Sonic there. and I ate it at the crossroads. Really underwhelming.
Ugh.
We tried to summon the devil there too. It did not work.
Yeah.
So you're just encountering this for the first time. You're freaked out about this.
This is so weird, man. I swear to God, like, I'm not joking. I really did not know this was like a meme internet thing. And I just texted you. I was like, wait, do you know about this Krampus thing? And you were like, are you
Yeah,
fucking
she
kidding
did. I
me?
was like, yeah, of course I do. Like, what are we doing? Are we like a science nerds podcast now? No, go on. I want to see how you react to this.
Now I'm just laughing at my notes. One of it says he beats kids with sticks! Exclamation point. Dude,
Yeah.
he beats kids with sticks. That's so fucked up.
I'll be honest
There's
with
a
you. I
thing
never
called
really looked
Krampus knocked.
Yeah,
That does not sound good.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, he's got him in the little basket there. Yeah, it looks like the devil. He's got horns.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Devil's
He's half
penis
man,
gotta be
half
so
goat.
fucked
He's
up.
Dude, he is the devil, which is really
Yeah.
weird. Why is the devil fucking with Santa Claus?
Well, I mean, Santa Claus is a Christ figure.
No, Santa Claus
How
is
do people who are really religious explain away Santa Claus?
Santa Claus is not a Christ. What does that even mean? Christ
He's a-
is born on Christmas. Santa Claus is an old man. Doesn't make sense.
Sweetheart. What do you think happened to Jesus Christ? People think he died. He did not. He became Santa Claus.
What?
That's
No.
literally what I assumed. Because he's old. And like, he looks like Jesus except fat. Yeah, you haven't thought of this, have you?
None of this makes any sense.
I'm saying,
So
believe me.
apparently,
My religion
so
does.
I tried to look up this. There is no definitive date of Krampusnacht. Which, can you say that in like a German?
Krampusnacht. I used to yell Mach Schnell at this German bartender. At the Geary Club. I made out with her once. She was like
Oh,
70.
man. Oh yeah, that was a crazy bar.
Yeah, it was fucked up. I could smoke in there.
Anyway,
think they
there's
would've
no
gone,
like
like, Precious
definitive
from
date.
there.
It's like some people it's November 30th, some people it's December 5th, some people it's December 6th. It's like it's not even. So this is like a fake thing, and basically all these like crazy Austrians, which is still a country,
Invented
exactly.
peoples.
Um,
It's a German Bantustan.
yeah. So we're just gonna say Bavaria.
Bavaria. There we go.
Dress up in like devil horns and like hairy suits and mock
God?
kidnap children.
Whoa.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. I mean, listen. Have you understood what Bavarians have done over the past few thousand years?
It's not great.
This is one of the best things they've done for humanity. And I don't say that it's a good thing. I'm just saying on the scale.
They dress up in horns and hooves and run around and scare children.
What
What's
about, don't
point of
the
this?
Dutch dress in blackface for Christmas?
Yeah, there was like a whole thing of there was it David Sedaris that wrote a story about that? I can't remember.
I don't know. Hope he's dead too. You don't hear about these guys for. No, he's alive. People got really mad at him the other week, right?
No one knows because they don't encounter his books at airports anymore.
Yeah, true. Is he really Amy Sedaris' sis brother?
Yeah.
It's a fucked up looking family.
Anyway, I just don't. I don't think Krampus should be a thing. This is
Yeah,
really.
well-
It's freaky.
I think that anything Bavarian should probably be kept in Bavaria for the next, let's say, how long was the Reich supposed to be? 1,000 years? that long.
The other thing too, that's like, if you look at photos of this shit, it does look like black metal kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's like Austrian, and you're like, come on,
Yeah.
guys, you're not Norwegian.
yeah,
You're not. You can't get away with this stuff.
Have you looked at Varg's Twitter?
Yeah, he's going ape recently, isn't he?
He's been horny recently. For those of you who don't know, Varg Vikernes was a black metal musician who famously he killed his bandmate
Yeah,
and is now out of
extremely
prison.
racist.
Very racist man, but in a way that, like, you know all that stuff we were talking about earlier about elves and stuff? He believes in elves.
Oh yeah. I mean, black metal, so it's all magic
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, you know, people were into Burzum, weren't they? Wasn't that a thing?
Yeah, it was like a big t-shirt band. I never
Yeah, it
liked
was a
black
t-shirt
metal.
band.
It's
I
just-
don't think anyone
it's just
listened to it.
Grindcore without
You know what we
blast
used to
beats.
do when I worked at a shop?
What?
Like 10 minutes before we were about to close, 15 minutes before, like people would still be in the store, and we all we wanted to do was get people out, so we would put on Burzum like really
Makes
loud.
sense. Yeah.
Without fail, everyone would leave.
Burzum's like a big girlfriend T-shirt band. Like you always got a girlfriend who's got a Burzum T-shirt.
Yeah.
Not like in your early
Absolutely.
20s you do.
That's
Yeah,
like Death in
yeah,
June.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I had a girlfriend who's wearing a Death in June shirt, putting her in the trunk and fucking driving off a fucking bridge. Sorry.
Parody.
A bridge on the off ramp to it, and be like, well, "Get out of the trunk. What are you doing in there? I love you." Do you know what the song "All Pigs Must Die" about? It's about me. Do you think I must die? No, you must die. And then I'm closing the trunk again.
This is a
And
free
then
episode.
I'm putting
Bruce.
an Eminem song back on.
Oh my god.
And then I'm
What
driving her
happened to him?
Marshall.
Oh, he did a. Didn't he do
The
an
awfully hot
anti-Trump
coffee
rap?
pot. Yeah, awfully hot coffee pot. It was like a big. He rhymed those words. People didn't like that.
Yeah.
Great rapper. There's a couple other things I want to hit real quick. One of them is Jews.
No.
We exist. We're valid. We're real.
Why is this in here?
Well, because I couldn't think of other Christmas things.
Oh my
I got
God.
too stressed out for the other
You've
stuff I
been
had to
stressed out all day.
do. I've been stressed out all week. But yes,
Yeah.
I know. But and the other one is the Grinch.
Okay, can we talk about this? Because, like, I think a couple months ago I talked to you and I said, what's up with everyone in the monkey photos? Mm-hmm. Seeing monkey photos everywhere. Everyone's going
Yeah.
ape
It
for
was
monkeys.
monkey fever for a little while. Yeah.
Monkey fever hit the internet. It was
No,
everywhere.
like really, there was monkey fever. It
Yeah,
killed
it was the
more
thing.
people than coronavirus.
No, I mean, look,
Yeah.
people listening, if you're not on the internet, let me just tell you, it was a thing. Monkeys everywhere.
People were posting monkeys. Yeah.
Now all I hear is Grinch.
Well, so I've been thinking about the Grinch for a while because I found a Grinch filter on Instagram.
Oh yeah, it's
Really-
very funny.
Yeah, I've been doing
has
a
a
lot.
little
Well, there's
baby.
a couple. The
Yeah.
Binky, they're called. They're
Binky.
Binky.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people don't know that, but I'm like a big rave guy, and so like I'm a Binky. Like Liz is. I don't do this in front of young Chomsky because I feel like it's like people think it's stupid, but like I wear a Binky sometimes when Liz and I like work on.
I
show
don't think you
notes and
wear
stuff.
a binky.
Well, I.
It's like you use
fine,
it.
I
Put it in my mouth and I suck it.
Yeah. I just like the
Like-
idea of saying I wear it. It sounds like very funny.
I do like daddy dom little girl stuff, except it's just there's no daddy dom and there's no little girl. I just act like a baby, and but I just complain a lot.
Oh my
But no, there's a Grinch filter, and I will say, Grinch has been on the mind for a while, because Grinches are real. Like people don't think it is, but
Well,
like it,
De Blasio, Grinch.
absolutely a Grinch. But no, like actually, there's little green men.
Oh. Is
Like-
Grinch little? I don't think he's little.
Well, I mean, he's smaller than me.
But he's bigger than the Who's, right?
Yeah. By the way, though, I'm 6'3", so that's not that crazy.
Okay. But he
Like,
is
he's just 5'8".
But the other ones are tiny.
Yeah, they're small. I don't like them. I don't like Dr. Seuss. I find him obnoxious.
Does Grinch have a hat? I think I'm
Uh,
confusing him with Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. Well, no, he's not a cat. He's a monster. He's like a goblin.
I know, but does he have a hat?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he's got a hat. He wears one of the hats that the Smurfs wear.
Mm.
I actually have been talking to a guy from the from Pod About List. I don't know if you know that podcast, but I'm financing his expedition to actually find a Grinch.
Where do you think it is?
Midwest somewhere probably.
Oh, in America.
Yeah, we got to kill it.
No.
Absolutely.
No, you just have to change him.
Yeah,
See,
into
the
a
whole
corpse.
the whole story of Grinch is that his heart is too small, two sizes too small.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have to do, the lesson is that we have to show him the magic of Christmas and giving and charity and community and friendship and love, connection, And then his heart will end up growing 2 sizes bigger, and he de-Grinches.
I'll tell you what. I've Grinched a lot of people in my life. I don't regret it. In fact, some of the Grinching I've done I'm proud of. But the actual Grinch himself has to die.
No. We can save him. I can save him.
Every time I've said I can save them about somebody, it's gone terribly wrong. You know about what happened. The killings. The killing fields.
Oh my god, please stop it.
I am losing consciousness.
Yeah, we've gone a little nutso. You guys, I'm sorry. This is very silly.
Yes. Well, we felt like we had to give you guys a little Christmas episode.
Yeah, first of all, like I said, crazy about Christmas. We got to do a Christmas thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally did not know about Krampus, so I learned something.
I didn't know about Christmas either. I live on like an Orthodox. I live on what they call a kibbutz. A lot of people don't know that I'm actually from Israel, and so I do most of my recording on a kibbutz. It's like but it's not like a kibbutz, but it's like family. It's just a poly thing. I live in a Tel Aviv apartment with 7 other swingers.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
Well, that wraps up that's our second Christmas episode. I'm very
cute.
impressed with this. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I cannot wait until our Valentine's Day episode, our Mother's Day episode,
Easter.
April Fool's episode. Oh, actually, I'll do an April Fool's episode.
Oh my god.
Well, what do you guys? So, for listeners, if you've made it this far, we will be returning in the new year. And I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, a post Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. And I want to ask my fellow TrueAnon team here, what do you hope for in the new year? What is your wish for the new year?
World peace.
No goodwill towards men. Noted. Yeah. Okay. How about you, young Chomsky?
I hope for a PS5
Uh-huh.
and a small titty goth GF.
Oh, okay. In the new year, I hope to be able to move on from podcasting, to no longer know Liz and young Chomsky, and to finally become an adult male TikToker.
That actually made me
Amen.
kind of sad. I know you're joking,
No,
but I was
I
like,
would never.
"Aw."
No, I would never. I don't. I pretend I'm a much younger man on TikTok.
Can you
Well, guys-
I think you need to get off TikTok.
I'm not on TikTok. I'm not. I want to make it clear.
Okay,
I am
yeah,
not on
that's-
TikTok. I'm not on
yes.
TikTok.
Sounds like a person who's on TikTok.
I just use it sometimes. I talk to my friends on there. They don't even like you guys.
Yeah.
They think they don't exactly know my age either, but they think you guys are just like old mean people. Well,
Everyone, we're going to miss you. We'll see you real soon. Have a happy holidays, a fantastic new year. And I'm Liz.
my name is Brace.
And this is Young Chomsky.
We're TrueAnon, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein.